Hello once again YouTube, Chris the Nightbringer here bringing you some Starmade action. Today we're going to be going over some awesome shit. I got some cool stuff to show you and also an actual ship that we're going to be building. And this is going to be turning into somewhat of a series. But quickly let me just go over the fact that I have been continuing to make ships in this game. All of them from EVE Online. Not this one right here in front of me is not finished, and I'm not going to go over these ships because I'd rather go over them all at once in a separate video, because this video is going to be a build video of how I build my ships and whatnot, and I'll show you pictures and stuff of what I'm making too. Here we have another fighter, and you've already seen that one and the one behind it, and not the one down there, and like I said, I'll show you in a separate video. But today we're going to be going over here a little bit, out of the way, perhaps get some really cool horizon background color. Come on, give me something. Is it going to look good? Oh yeah. Actually, let's go off the side of the planet, because then we won't fall because of the gravity. Yeah, look at this. Right, okay, and then in this direction we'll have some really nice color, and we'll have a sun in that background area, and it'll look really cool. Very sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of this ship, right? And I'm gonna delete it. New update also, so I guess they like made it a few changes. Hopefully the performance is better. I don't know. It doesn't really matter because it didn't affect me in the past. But today I'm going to be making a ship from EVE Online, and I'm going to show you how I make that ship. It's called the Minmatar Tyrfing. Oh shit, there's a fly in my room. Holy fuck. That thing just flew right past my face. I'm going to show you pictures of this ship, and I'll keep them overlaid on the screen as I build this thing, because I want you guys to see how I make it. And this is going to be a series from now on of me building ships in Starmade and how you can make really cool looking ships and stuff. And if you have to copy it from a picture, I'm going to tell you how to do it, and how you should go about doing it. And it's not like you have to take my uh, word as like the correct and only way to do this. So don't do that. Just take note of how I do things, and if you want to use some of my uh, techniques, you can do that. So here we have the ship core. I named it Minmatar Tyrfing Mark 1. Over the course of time, I might upgrade and change the version, and I would like to keep track of that. In the end of this series, I'm going to release a folder with all of these blueprints, and you could just download them all at once, because I tried uploading them to the website, and I don't really like that. I'd rather have people that watch my channel get this instead of people from the forums, because then they'll be privileged, you my beautiful people. So we're going to enter this ship core, and here it is. And if you are looking at the picture now, there's a lot of brown on this, and there's also these really weird panels that are like blue, and it just so happens that glass is sort of blue, and so we're going to be using glass for those panels on the side. And I don't know what those are. They look like some sort of radiator fin or like a solar panel, even though I highly doubt they're solar panels. There's something, and this is very unique type of ship design that these people have. It's all very industrial looking and kind of grungy, and almost on the verge of like industrial steampunk, which is kind of cool, because this is, I mean, it's not exactly steampunk, but it's almost what you would expect. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually mark out the size of this thing, and I have it all here. It is 26 meters long. Also, I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing while I do this, but it's 26 meters long. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that should be 26 meters long. That's how long the ship is going to be. And then we're going to go up. Let's see. I'm looking at my notes. Oh, it's 30 meters tall. So I'm gonna count out 30 meters. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's how tall the ship is. That's how long the ship is. And then it's 25 meters wide. So we're going to put 12 on each side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that's pretty much even on that side. Oh geez, I didn't know the planet was doing this weird thing with the horizon, which kind of sucks because I came over here for the nice color of the horizon. Whatever. The atmosphere has, I guess, changed its mood, and the sun actually looks very terrifying. Okay, so these are the dimensions of this ship. Now, one thing you should note about this is if you can't see it on screen, there's like these really small antenna things sticking out from the wings on the side, or what would be wings, and those things are like 9 meters of extra length to the front of this ship. Other than that, the ship is actually like very compressed inside this space. But regardless, we're gonna continue and move on and work with the ship. So you may have noticed that I built out from the core, and because this ship is so small, I'm going to be rebuilding it after. But we need to actually design the ship first, and we need to figure out where the core would even go, because the thing about this game that I don't like is the fact that you have to enter the ship from the core. You can't jump in through the cockpits that are attached to the ship. And the thing that sucks about that is you have to figure out where the core goes before you even build any other part of the ship. You have to build your ship around the core, and I think that's kind of stupid. You should place a cockpit after you place the hull of a ship, not like place the cockpit first and then build a ship around it. That just makes no sense to me, and I kind of wish there was a way you could like change that. Although I do understand that you can't really like get around that if the ship has to have a core. It's just like, to me, that's really stupid. So what I do is I put the core in the bottom, and I build the ship all in this area. And what's going to happen is when I'm done, since this build is so small, I have no problem rebuilding it, but with the core in the proper place. So in the future, when we do larger ships that are like 50 or more meters long, we probably will not be doing that. We'll just have to figure out where the core goes before we lay out anything else, but that's okay. So we're going to get started with this, and I actually have almost no idea where to begin. I really actually don't. So I think I'm gonna get out all of my brown hull and start laying some shit down. Gee, I'm actually more unprepared than I thought I would be. I know the dimensions of a few things, but I don't know like everything. So I know that over here is this. We're going to go up because I need to get a place to build from. And I don't actually even know how tall this fucking part is. So that's 9 meters of space. And that's 19. Okay, we have to build from the top. Jesus Christ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so this is the bottom of the ship. And I measured this all out. I like being very precise, especially if I'm going to be building something from like an image. I mean, that just makes sense to me. So if you're looking at the ship, there's like this part right under the cockpit where it dips in, and there's like a smaller connection to the rest of the bottom piece. This is how low this piece comes out. So I'm just going to build that out as far as it goes, and I'm just going to get rid of that. And so now we have the bottom of the ship, and I don't actually even know how far out this goes from the back, which I didn't measure because I didn't think to measure it, and I think I'm kind of stupid for doing that now. Fuck. See, this is why this is difficult. Okay, so another thing we could do is we can figure out the wings, because I'm gonna build from the inside out. So I'm gonna take my glass, or actually I'm going to take this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that's the width of the ship, right? It's up there. And the wings are the very tallest part, but they're in by 1. So now we know how far out the wings come, and we bring this out, right? And actually, the wings kind of have like a very slight tilt, and the wings on this thing... Oh fuck, did I even measure that? Oh, I did. Okay, they're 8 meters. So the wings are going to be coming down 8 meters. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's how long the wings are on the side of the ship. And since they have this like slight like angle, I'm going to be putting this here. And we're going to get rid of that. And now we know the angle for the wings. We're going to get rid of this stuff. And I know I have these angled pieces, but I'm not going to use that for this because that implies that there's a bend there in the piece and not, instead of actually being like an angle. So I'm just going to leave that like it is for now. So now we know how far the wings are and where the space is occupied. And this is really jumbled at the moment, but once we start figuring out all these measurements that I took, you'll be able to see how this thing is going to take shape. If you're going to copy a picture, at least have the decency to make everything proportionate or close to as proportionate as you can, because it's just really stupid when people try and do things off of looks when they can put in the little extra bit of effort and do things by proportions. Just makes it so much easier. Oh look, the nice sunlight is coming back. I'm gonna take a sip from my Mountain Dew. Delish. Okay, so we have that. And let's see. I'm thinking about making this piece on the side this wide. There's also going to be this on the edge. And then there are, let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Okay, so that's 6 meters. There's going to be a 4-meter thing for the engine. Right? Then there's 5 meters of hull. And this centerpiece should now line up with the middle. See, this is how you do proportions. Everything's starting to line up. And it's very good, and everything is still looking like it has the same dimensions. Right, so there's the other engine. Right, and then here's like the other end of the wing piece. So now we're starting to see, oh shit, I just flew into the wall of the rock. That's very weird. So now we can start to see the actual outline of where things are going to go along on a horizontal axis across the ship. And we can see where the wings go up. And God, this is beautiful. I really like that the sun came back up. Very nice. So now I have to measure out something from the front. So I'm going to do that real quick because this antenna thing I measured out to be 9 meters. And then the entire length is 16 meters for this wing section. So now I know how long this thing is. So let me go out to the end. And that seems to line up with that block down there, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this right here is the antenna piece. And then this is where this part starts. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so that's very short compared to what I was thinking it was going to be. But that kind of makes sense because there's a big engine block in the back here. So we're going to throw that there. And that actually does not stay there. So this entire section is wing piece, right? We're going to bring that forward. And I'm hoping that I'm going to have pictures zoomed in on the places I'm working on, overlaid in like the corner of the screen, just so you get an idea of what the fuck I'm working on and what I'm like talking about if I'm talking about anything. And this antenna piece is actually on the outside. I'm just going to use black for this part. So there's the antenna. This is the wing, and the back of this has like an engine attached to it, and we'll get to that in a minute. But that's how far back that goes, right? And we might change up how this entire section looks, and I think we actually are. So let me look at this real quick, and it would appear that the glass goes that far back. So I'm just looking at this and trying to make sure that everything is in proper order, and give me a second while I look at it. Let's say that the glass goes out 2 meters. Right, and now some things you don't have to measure, especially if it's on such a small scale like this. So you don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to bring forward all this glass, even though the shape of it still has to be fixed. Oh my god, I'm out of glass? Oh shit, that's a problem. Because I don't know what the thing for glass is. If you give me a minute, I can get some more, but I cannot believe I ran out of glass so fast. Jesus. Alright, I got my glass back. I also forgot that this thing is actually symmetrical, so I can turn this on, right? And we can go over here and bam. So now everything I do on this side will be copied onto the other side, which is very nice. So we can bring this out, and if we do that, and then if we look on the other side, it's starting to place that on that side, which is very nice, very cool. I like that they put that in. So this comes out 2 meters or so. The thing is there's like this gray panel kind of underneath it, sort of underneath it, I guess. We're gonna get rid of this, right? And we're gonna come over here and we're gonna, oh, I have the wrong block selected. We're gonna attach this here, and that's very bright. I hate the fucking fact that the gray is so close to white in this. It's really bugging me. Regardless, so that goes there, right? And then it kind of just stops. And this glass piece goes all the way back, as far back as the engine does, which is this 7 meters attached to the 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'm just making sure that everything is correct. So I have to add another layer of glass back here. Yeah, it looks very awkward on the other side because it's not filled in. So let me just fill in a few on this side. This looks very weird. It's all like broken on this side. Give me a second, I have to do something. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that looks right. So we're gonna just focus on this side real quick, and what happens with the glass on this side is it is attached here. And I don't know if I want to add this in yet. I mean, I could because there's so much glass that it really wouldn't matter. So we're going to add this here, which goes all the way up. And I guess that's pretty cool because it'll give it a little bit of a structure. And then 2 pieces back, we're going to take some plexiglass, and it's already turned in the correct dimension. We're going to get rid of all these. I accidentally clicked on blocks on the other side, so I have to put these back. So we do that, and then there's another 2. Right? And if you're looking at the picture I'm using, you'll see why I'm doing all this. And in fact, we can do this instead. There we go. So that is a very strange way of doing it. It's a very sharp angle up here, and then it flans out, and then it goes up a little bit with this little notch, and then it goes forward, and that actually looks pretty good. Those wings, done. I'm already done with them. Probably not going to touch them later, save for like down here where I might change some of this stuff, and that's it. I'm already done with the wings. I don't really have to worry about them anymore. I could, if I wanted to, frame them entirely in the gray panels, but I don't really want to. Now we're going to focus on the actual wing section, like this little piece here and this extender piece, because this changes a little bit. So we come back here, right, and we take, we're just going to make it look a little bit smoother, and we're going to throw this on here, and we're going to do the same underneath, and we're just going to place that there until we figure out the correct angle, which we have to cycle through this, which is sort of obnoxious, but it's not too bad. And then we do that, right? And let's see. We get rid of this because that's actually not there, because this antenna kind of just like disappears into this. And if we look at the actual colors being used, we could see that this is like that, and then there's a connection piece right here. And just to make this look a little bit more connected and smooth, we're going to throw those there and those there, right? So now that antenna is very well connected, and there's a little bit of a brown piece that sticks out past the antenna. So we're going to make this with the other. And the reason I'm using these two different colors is because or these two different types of hull armor is because this is all very patchy, whereas this looks very hardened. So I'm using this to make it look like components to the ship instead of armor, and this is going to be the actual hull, or the look of the hull. So I'm using those two differences to give it a little bit of a look. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to change this to gray, and I'm going to keep this antenna black. Just to give it a different color. There's no actual like way to like see what the actual color of this antenna is. It's so thin that it's just like a line on the screen, but I'm gonna make it black, and that way we have thrown in a separate color for this ship, because right now all we have is blue, gray, and brown. So I threw in black. Unfortunately, that's the end of this episode. We're going to continue this shipbuilding in the next one, and now that it's taken a little bit of its shape, we're going to be able to speed along through the process of building this ship a little bit faster. It's going to turn out a little bit nicer in the end. So comment, rate, favorite, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this so far. Tell me if you like it or not. And I'll see you guys later. Click the links in the other video or watch the next episode. I don't know if I just said that, but have a nice day, and I'll see you guys